Next we have a story about a park, but not Forest Park. That's a story that's pretty well known. Anne-Marie Berger tonight takes us to a neighborhood park. It too has its own stories and its own role in St. Louis history.
Well, it's almost like being in love.
2008 marks the 6th Ivory Perry Park concert series.
Well, it's almost like being in love.
Now there are free concerts in parks all over St. Louis during the summertime, but this concert series in Ivory Perry Park is something to celebrate.
That is ringing for me.
This park needed something good to happen in it, and we wanted a place for musicians to be outside. We wanted to involve the community in coming together in this park, and we wanted lots of people to support it, and over the past 5 years that's what's happened. It's been wonderful.
Many people may not be familiar with this park. Its original name was Visitation Park, a name longtime residents still call it.
Visitation Park is the best kept secret in St. Louis, and I've always said that.
It's tucked away just north of Del Mar along Belt Avenue in Cabany in North St. Louis. It's always been a central part of the surrounding neighborhood, and through the years, it's had its fair share of ups and downs. But this park's history is long and strong, and this concert series is bringing people back to it.
Our 2007 season, we drew from 45 zip codes, and that we ranged from O'Fallon, Missouri to O'Fallon, Illinois. This park was neglected. It had some tragedy to it, and so definitely it just needed to have something good happen to it.
So that's why on the fourth Sunday in June, July, and August, you'll find music and lots of people in Ivory Perry Park. And it makes sense this park and its surrounding neighborhood are making a comeback. After all, for 70 years, this park was home to endless amounts of prayer. In 1892, the Visitation Convent and Academy moved from Cass Avenue to the corner of Cabany and Belt, not far from the then western edge of the city, in an area surrounded by cornfields, potato patches, and apple orchards. But the Sisters of the Visitation of Holy Mary foresaw the city's future growth here, especially with the upcoming 1904 World's Fair. A French Renaissance-style building was designed and built on the 10-acre property, costing roughly $240,000. It became home to dozens of cloistered nuns and a fairy tale castle to the girls that attended school there.
The building was just fantastic. It looked, as I say, like a French chateau, and it was 4 stories high, and it had big gargoyles on the top in that fashion to ward off evil.
Sister Marie-Therese was 13 years old when she arrived at Visitation Academy as a student. By then, the future growth of St. Louis had happened, and a neighborhood grew up around the convent and school.
When I first came, there were trees everywhere. The homes were lovely.
The homes built here were large, brick, and beautiful. The Visitation neighborhood would prosper. Girls would walk to school here, others would take the bus in from across town, and quite a few were boarders. Visitation Academy became a focal point in the neighborhood.
The big event of the year in those days was May Day, in honor of our Blessed Mother. And CBC cadets in their uniforms would come and walk us in the Court of Honor. And they'd play pomp and circumstance, and everybody was dressed in a pretty formal with a handsome young cadet.
Right over here in this area where they have a new playground set up, they used to do a May Day pole dance every year that was absolutely fabulous.
As a young girl, Robin Boyce lived across the street from Visitation. Her family moved into their house on Clemens Street along the south side of the campus in the 1950s. and she enjoyed May Day just as much as the Viz girls.
And I always dreamed of being able to attend that school one day and be able to do the dance for May Day. I thought it was so pretty.
What was the neighborhood like then?
The neighborhood was well mixed. You had a lot of artists who lived on the block, designers, probably who worked for Stixbeer and Fuller at the time, and some of the old designer stores out in Clayton. You had doctors who lived over here, attorneys. In fact, on this block we moved right next door to the first black alderman for the city of St. Louis, Mr. Broussard.
But like many city neighborhoods in the early 1960s, residents, both black and white, began moving to the suburbs.
A lot more people started leaving the neighborhood. A lot more people started moving towards U-City. They started moving toward West County area. A lot of the folks that were over here did West County, U-City.
And Visitation Academy was one of them. It was a combination of circumstances. The neighborhood started to change, making it not as safe for girls to be walking to school from home or the bus stop. Also, the main building at Visitation was showing its age and was becoming costly to keep up.
Even besides the neighborhood, it really wasn't a safe place to be because our whole attic was made of wood, and it was just prohibitive to get any more sprinkler systems and to make it a safe place.
In 1962, the Sisters of the Visitation of Holy Mary sold their property on Cabany to the city of St. Louis and moved west again, this time to Ballas Road and Highway 40.
When we were leaving it to come out here to Ballas Road, they were actually taking sledgehammers and knocking out the radiators and things. You just had to close your eyes and leave because it was so sad.
Was that just a big shock to the neighborhood?
It was not so much of a big shock to the neighborhood as that I wouldn't get to see the May Day dance anymore. It was a shock to me.
Robin's loss of the maypole dance would be comforted. The city of St. Louis had designated the land a park, Visitation Park.
It would be a park for children who didn't have a place to play. And since we were all for children, that was a lovely use to put it to. It wasn't a shopping mall or something like that.
The city demolished all the buildings except one, the gymnasium.
And they started some great recreational activities over here. So in my preteen years, I had an opportunity to learn ballet over here, gymnastics, arts and crafts, and it was the place for us to come after school. And have, something to do after we were done with our homework and everything. And it was a place to come during the summertime when we needed somewhere to be safe. It was a safe place.
Eventually, the upkeep on the gym became too expensive for the city, so they shut it down, although they didn't tear it down. And what used to be a safe place for kids became a shelter for criminal activity. Some homes and buildings in the neighborhood fell to neglect as well. And over the years, some tragic events have taken place here. This park was the site of a brutal dog attack that killed young Rodney McAllister in 2001. But times are changing for this park, which was renamed Ivory Perry Park after the civil rights activist in 1989. The old gym is long gone, neglected homes in the neighborhood are coming down, new homes are going up. And it must be mentioned that the beautiful homes that have been lovingly cared for all these years are still beautiful.
Well, it's almost like being in love.
Most importantly, kids have a place to play, and so do their parents.
Like a bell.
People need a central place where they can meet and have community meetings, where they can send their children when they need activities. A nice place inside of a park, inside of a community, does nothing but heal a community and keep it whole.
talking about.